identify members of staff who will undergo specialized training and be well-resourced to man the courts. I am hopeful that 2 such courts will be operational in Harare and Bulawayo in the first quarter of 2018. We have made the pursuit of the establishment of these specialized courts one of the goals intended to be achieved consistent with government policy. Once accepting that incidences of judicial impropriety remain a cause of some concern in the magistrates' courts, I am happy to report that no magistrate was charged with corruption-related misconduct in 2017. In the Superior Court, whispers about such indiscretions remain low. We can only hope that the strategies being put in place will bring total silence in all the courts. The third activity that I wish to highlight relates to the introduction of an integrated electronic case management system. This is a deliberate decision taken by the JSC for the judiciary to move with the times and embrace technology. Most jurisdictions within the region have introduced or are in the process of introducing integrated case management systems, and Zimbabwe cannot afford to be left behind. The system will assist us to manage, monitor, and track all cases filed in our courts. In using the system, we will be able to identify bottlenecks that are causing delays in our processes. We will then make the necessary interventions in order to rectify the anomalies. In short, the system will bring in efficiency in our courts, assist in reducing backlogs, and critically, it will help to eliminate corruption. People will not have to attend physically at court registries to file documents. In suitable cases, witnesses will not have to appear in court to give evidence. Virtual hearings will be conducted. It has become highly desirable, therefore, that we develop and install a fully integrated electronic case management system. The need became even more apparent after the promulgation of the Judicial Laws Amendment, Ease of Settling Commercial and Other Disputes, Act No. 7 of 2017 on 23 June 2017. Apart from establishing specialized and technical divisions of the High Court, it also provides for virtual court sittings. We therefore need to move with the times as a jurisdiction to be able to maintain our vision of world-class justice, which is technically aided. A decision was therefore made to set up a committee of JSC personnel that will carry out research on the most suitable integrated electronic case management system for the courts. On 27 June 2017, I accordingly commissioned the committee headed by a judge of the High Court to spearhead that project and make recommendations on the appropriate integrated electronic case management system for our jurisdiction. It is envisaged that the committee will complete the research and produce its report at the end of February 2018. After the report has been submitted, the JSE will carry out a consultative process with all stakeholders for their input on the proposals by the committee. We have indicated previously that the JSE has started the process of reviewing the rules of all the courts. This is one way by which we ensure that access to justice is enhanced through rules that are in conformity with the new constitutional dispensation. As we carry out the process, we consult all the stakeholders in the justice delivery system. We have taken into account and adopted some of their comments and contributions. We have completed reviewing the Supreme Court rules, the Labour Court rules, and the Magistrate Court rules. We have submitted these rules to the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs for the process of promulgation into law. I am happy to announce that through Statutory Instrument 150 of 2017, the new Labour Court rules are now law. We now await the promulgation of the Supreme Court rules and the Magistrates Court rules. The High Court rules review process is almost complete. It is hoped that these rules will be submitted for promulgation during the first quarter of 2018. The area of training is close to my heart. I strongly believe that a court that is manned by a well-trained judicial officer will be efficient and likely to produce the best results. I also believe that jurisprudence can only develop when judges write judgments with the benefit of well-prepared pleadings and well-researched heads of argument. It is for these reasons that, despite my busy schedule, I have made myself available whenever the Council for Legal Education or the Law Society of Zimbabwe have requested me to be a resource person when they conduct training courses for legal practitioners. I have, in this regard, taken part in the training of lawyers in areas such as preparation of pleadings, drafting of notices of appeals, advocacy in superior courts, and other subjects. I will continue to make myself available should my services be required. At the end of every term, we hold a judicial symposium where we train judges in identified areas of interest. I have noted that the symposia have been of benefit to the judges. In December 2017, we held a bar bench colloquium with the Law Society of Zimbabwe, where judges and legal practitioners met outside court to discuss matters of mutual interest. I also found the discussions held at the colloquium enriching. Before I detail the operations and performance of the courts, I wish to share with you my attitude towards judicial performance. I believe that as courts and judicial officers, we are accountable to the people of Zimbabwe on how we are discharging the trust that they reposed in us. I am an advocate of judicial independence, and as the Chief Justice, I stand as the first line in defense against any form of interference with judicial functions. I, however, do not agree that judicial accountability